Hi everyone and welcome to the third class of General Science. In the last class, we discussed about the topic digestion. So today, we are moving on to a new topic that is about preserving food. So, we all know we eat different types of food, right? Some food can be eaten raw, while some food needs to be cooked, right? So, why food needs to be cooked? So, let's see. The first one makes food digestible. So, cooking makes the food soft so that we can easily chew it and it is easier to digest, right? So, cooked food, we can easily chew the food as the cooking makes the food soft, so you can easily chew the food and it is easier to digest. So that is the first point. It makes food digestible. See the second one. Improves the color, flavor, taste and appearance of food. Right. So after cooking, it tastes and smells good, right? The cooked food tastes and smells good, right? The third one makes food last longer. So, by cooking, it kills the bacteria that spoils the food. But you must always remember the food must be eaten within few days of being cooked. So, it makes the food last longer. The next point is makes food safe for eating. So, as we discussed, it kills all the bacteria and microorganisms which is present in the food that makes the food safe for eating. So, this is why food needs to be cooked. Some food we can eat it raw, while some food needs to be cooked. And cooked food is easy to digest, then it improves the color, flavor, taste and appearance of food, which means it smells and tastes good, then makes food last longer. Cooked food can be kept for longer. Then it makes food safe for eating. So, the cooked food kills all the microorganisms and bacteria that is present in the food and makes the food safe for eating. So, now let's see the proper cooking practices. So, food must be cooked very properly. So, improper cooking can lead to loss of many nutrients from the food. The first thing that we need to remember is we need to avoid overboiling and overheating of food. So when we overboil or overheat the food, the vitamin C gets lost from the food. So vitamin C is destroyed because of high temperature. So that is very, very important. So you should avoid overboiling and overheating of food. The next thing that we need to remember is, so when rice or pulses or vegetables are boiled in the water, the nutrients which are present in these food items get mixed with the water. So, what you need to do is, you should not throw away that boiled water. What happens if you throw away that boiled water? The nutrients get lost. So, that is very, very important. Then there are all fruits and vegetables like cucumber, carrot, radish. So these can be eaten raw. So what happens if you cook them? So the vitamins which are present in them gets lost due to heating. So these food items can be eaten raw. So all fruits and vegetables like the tomato, cucumber, carrot, all these can be eaten raw. So otherwise, if we cook it, the vitamins which are present in it will be lost due to heating. So these are some of the things that we need to remember while cooking. So we need to cook food properly. Otherwise what happens? The nutrients which are present in the food gets lost. Coming to the next is about food preservation. To preserve food. So to preserve food from getting decayed, to preserve food from bacteria. If the food is not stored properly, what happens? it gets spoiled. Then if the cooked food is kept unused for few hours in a warm place, what happens? It can become stale. So stale food contains germs growing in it and it is not good. It makes us sick. So it is very, very important to preserve food. So let's see the different methods by which we can preserve food. So you can see the following methods here. The first one is refrigeration, then drying, pickling, sugaring, then canning and bottling. These are some of the ways in which we can preserve food. So if the food is stored properly, so we must store food properly in order to avoid spoiling of food. So let's discuss these methods one by one. So which is the first method? Refrigeration. So you all are familiar with it, right? So if we have unused food or if we have any leftover food, we keep it in the refrigerator, right? So the cold temperature helps the food to stay safe for longer. So that is the first method of preserving food, that is refrigeration. So cold temperature can keep the food stay safe for longer. So that is the first method of preserving food, and that is refrigeration. The second one is drying. So have you seen your mother or grandmothers drying the fruits or vegetables in the sunlight? So this is another method. It is another method of preserving food. So drying food items. So by drying these food items, it can remove all the moisture from the food so that the bacteria or yeast do not grow. So that is the second method of preservation. The method is drying. So when we dry the food items, what happens? It will remove all the moisture from the food items so that the bacteria or yeast will not grow. So that is the second method. The first method was refrigeration. The second method, drying. So the third method is pickling. So most of you have seen making pickles, your mothers or grandmothers preparing pickles, right? So it is also another method of preserving the food. So pickles are preserved in oil. They are preserved in oil and salt or vinegar. So this is the another method of preservation so that it can prevent the bacteria getting in the food. So that is the third method, and the method is pickling. The next one is sugaring, which is same as that of pickling. So do you all like jams? So we can make jams from different fruits, right? So jams can be preserved in high amount of sugar. So this is another method of preserving food, and that method is sugaring. So the first method was refrigeration, then drying, then pickling, then sugaring. Then the next method is canning and bottling. So it is also another method of preserving food that helps to prevent the microorganisms which spoils the food. So the last method is canning and bottling. That also prevents the microorganisms that spoils the food. So these are different methods by which we can preserve food. To preserve food, the food must be stored properly in order to avoid spoilage of food. So which are the methods? The first one, refrigeration, then drying, then pickling, then sugaring, then canning and bottling. So these are the different methods by which we can preserve food. Coming to the next is life skills. In page number 7, it is given. So you should always begin your day with a good breakfast. So the first thing you must do after you wake up is you have to drink lots of water. So you have to drink at least 6 glasses of water every day. So our body requires water. Our body requires clean water. So you should drink sufficient amount of water. The next thing is you should always wash your hands with soap before eating. So this is very high time and you must be very, very careful. So you have to wash your hands frequently even before having your food. Then You need to have all your meals, that is your breakfast, your lunch and your dinner. It is very, very important. You should not skip any of your meals. Then you should eat all kinds of food. Don't just eat what you like. Okay, so you have to eat all kinds of food because all kinds of food are needed for your body. Then you have to eat fiber-rich food. So fruits, vegetables, all these are rich in fiber. So you need to have these fiber-rich food regularly. That is good for your digestive system. Then eat fried foods, sweets and ice creams occasionally. So occasionally you can have your favorite sweets or ice creams. Okay. Next one is do not overeat. The important thing is you should not overeat. You should eat your food in the right quantity or in the right amount. Overeating is not good for your body. So these are some of the things that you must remember always. In page number 12, you have an activity. So it is a parent-guided activity. So you can get the help from your parents and you can try doing this activity. And once you are done, you can submit in Microsoft Teams. So we are done with the chapter, the first chapter, Food and Health. I hope the classes were clear to you. So you can go through the exercise, try doing the exercise and complete the exercise. So we'll meet in the next class and we'll start a new chapter. Till then, thank you.